Hi, my name is Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to talk about yoni eggs and answer the question, are yoni eggs safe? I must confess I don't really know the answer to that question, but I wanted to discuss some topics around yoni eggs and share some of my knowledge and experience with you, and maybe we can come to some conclusions. Well, first of all, what are yoni eggs? Well, yoni eggs are crystals that are egg-shaped, and they are usually worn inside the vagina, and they come in 3 sizes. This is a large size, this is a medium, and there's also a smaller one that I don't have actually, and they can be drilled or undrilled, and this is an obsidian yoni egg that is drilled. And then these are 2 rose quartz eggs that are undrilled. So why would you use a yoni egg? Well, I think the confusion comes from, there was an article, I think it was Gwyneth Paltrow was recommending jade eggs, as she calls them, on her website Goop. And then after that there was a gynecologist, or lots of people said that they actually were not safe and they were porous. And of course, if they are porous, then you probably should not be inserting them in your vagina. But for me personally, I've found lots of conflicting information out there. Sometimes people who are pro crystals, they say that some crystals are non-porous, and if that's the case, then it should be okay, surely. However, it's a much more complicated than that, because they come in all different types of crystals, and not every type of crystal is something that you should be wearing inside your body. For example, some crystals can degrade with water. So it really depends, and I'm not going to give you a list here, but if you are interested in using yoni eggs, then make sure you look for which crystals should be used as yoni eggs and which shouldn't. But I think for so far these ones are okay. Well, if you want to use them, that is. So this is obsidian and rose quartz. And of course, yoni eggs can be worn for pelvic floor training, and they also have lots of energetic properties or healing properties, if you believe in that kind of thing. And a rose quartz would be to attract love, and obsidian is associated with the base chakra, and it could also be used to kind of or get negativity out of your body, so something like that. So there's lots of different properties for different crystals. So I'm very confused about the whole practice of yoni eggs. I've personally had some very good experiences with them. However, I would definitely use them with caution. And one area, well, let me hang on, I've got this list here, I hope I can read it. So one thing about the yoni eggs when it comes to the pelvic floor training, what you do is you would insert it this way, which seems kind of counterintuitive, because it must be easier surely to put it in that way, but it would be like that, the wider side first. And if it's a drilled one, then you have a string here. That's why you have the drill. It's actually to put a string on it, so you can insert and remove very easily. But in general, you can use the undrilled ones. I mean, they don't get lost inside. They will eventually come out. And what's interesting about yoni eggs, if you use them for pelvic floor training, is that you would start with the biggest egg, and then when you get stronger, you go to the next size, the next smallest size, and then the next one. So you're kind of like tightening up the muscles. It's very interesting, because it's kind of the opposite of normal Kegel balls, where you kind of increase the weight, whereas this is more based on size than weight, because it's a lot easier to hold this inside your vagina than a very small egg. So that's very interesting. But for me recently, I've been doing a big investigation about pelvic floor products in general, and what I'm seeing is, what I prefer now is I prefer the app controlled pelvic floor trainers that are just they're actually registering your squeezing and relaxing, because it's actually very important to relax as well between squeezes. And what I find is if you're using a weighted system like Yoni eggs or Kegel balls, then your muscles are constantly in tension, and I don't really know if that's good for those muscles or good for the body in general. But if anyone has any knowledge about this, it'd be really great to leave a comment below, or any links as well. So that's what I wanted to talk about, the pelvic floor as well. As another thing that people use, really advanced users can use the string to actually attach weights to and do vaginal weightlifting. And I saw that in a book I read about healing love through the Tao, cultivating female energy, female sexual energy. And it's very interesting. Sometimes there are exercises with two inside, and you're just moving them around with your very strong vagina. So I think that sounds really interesting to get to that kind of strength. And also it could have a massive, very good impact on your sex life, you know, because if you've got a very strong pelvic floor, then you can really do some fun things during intercourse. So this is a very interesting interesting diagram here. Introduction to vaginal weightlifting. Wow, very interesting. So that's obviously very, very, very advanced. Another thing that I wanted to say about the Yoni eggs is, okay, so in some of these books that I found, they talked about cleaning these eggs using boiling water. Oh my God. So I actually did use boiling water when I was using my obsidian egg, and it was all fine. I thought, oh, this is great, I can sterilize it, and I know something that's going inside my body that's natural, it's completely smooth, and it's been sterilized. I thought it was fantastic. But then another time I actually bought this rose quartz egg, this large one, and I did the same thing, and I heard this crack. Oh my God, it's a very subtle crack, and I can feel it with my fingertip. But then I just thought, this should not go inside my vagina. And I spoke to someone in a crystal shop, and I asked them about cleaning it, and they said just to use normal water, lukewarm water under the tap, there's running water, and not to use boiling water. So there's a lot of conflicting information among experts. So there's no wonder there's a lot of confusion as to whether you should be using Yoni eggs or not. Another thing that I've noticed, people who are pro Yoni egg, they talk about sleeping with the egg and using it for a long time, and I think, oh my God, that can't be good, surely. I mean, I just think you should not be using these types of products for a very long time, if you're going to use them, that is. And let me see what else I wanted to say about that. Okay, so I wanted to show you some of the books that talk about Yoni eggs. So I've mentioned this one, Healing Love Through the Tao. There are lots of exercises here with jade eggs, as they call them. And I think it's very interesting in general just to have a strong pelvic floor, but this is not the only way to achieve that. Because I've also been reading another book by Joe Dispenza called Becoming Supernatural, and it talks about breathing and using your pelvic floor to really help the breathing process and move cerebral fluid up your spine. So I just think, oh my God, it's really powerful what having a strong pelvic floor can do. It's not just sexual, it also helps your bladder, and it can help enlightenment, dun, 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 with these breathing techniques taught by Joe Dispenza. So I'm really interested in that in general. Another book that I found was interesting about that mentions Yoni eggs is The Alchemy of Sexual Energy. This is very interesting, connecting with the universe from within. That's so cool. I'm really into this idea of cosmic orgasms and using sexual energy for non-sexual objectives in general. And I'm reading this one at the moment, The Multi-Orgasmic Woman, and they have a chapter, I think, about Yoni eggs and how to use them. So that's very interesting, very interesting. But another book that I found interesting as well is this one, The Art of Sexual Magic, and this is by Margot Anand, and this is a Tantra book, and this is something she says about the crystal eggs. So For me, the crystal egg has been a powerful symbol of female sexual energy. Following an ancient Toaist teaching, I practiced placing a crystal egg inside my vagina, contracting and expanding my genital muscles around it for several minutes. This practice not only brought enhanced sensitivity and power to my genitals and lovemaking, it also strongly charged the crystal egg with female energy. Later, I held the egg in my hand while giving public lectures and interviews, and I felt very much empowered by this symbol of female strength. I absolutely love that, because I've been doing something similar with my own eggs. It's very cool, but I'll explain my own experiences in a minute. But first of all, actually I'll explain them now. So for me, when I first found out about these eggs, I got an obsidian egg because I was very concerned about financial stability. I moved into this penthouse apartment, and for 2 months I couldn't even furnish it. I had 22 boxes of all my stuff. I had no sofa. I was freezing cold because I had limited cash. I didn't really want to even put the heating on. And I went to open a new bank account, and I played some root chakra music and had some incense on, did a meditation, and I put this inside my vagina, and I went down to the bank, and it's been fantastic. This bank account has been very abundant, and it's been very successful. And I also went to see 50 Shades of Grey because I just wanted to be in all that opulence. Not that I really want, I don't really want, I don't need to have a helicopter in my life to be satisfied, but I thought it was a fun idea. So yeah, I was like walking back on the beach, like, oh, it was quite exciting. And also with these ones, I wanted to go for undrilled, because I was just thinking, how am I going to clean inside that tiny hole? Because I'm kind of a bit of a hygiene freak when it comes to sex toys or anything inside my vagina. For example, normally with anything that's insertable, I use condoms all the time, even with Kegel balls. But with something like this, using a condom would kind of not be, I don't know, I don't think you would get the same energetic properties from it. So I didn't want to do that with this. So I got these undrilled eggs for a challenge, and I got this one first, but then I tried to boil it and it cracked, and I read online. I just thought, nah, I'm not going to risk putting something that's not perfect inside my vagina, so I decided not to use it. And then I went to buy a medium one instead, and the person in the shop told me not to use boiling water with crystals, and I paid attention. And also another thing about Yoni eggs in crystal shops, usually they're in the crystal shops I go to anyway, they're in these little plastic bags, that not been touched by lots of people. So I used this, I did a kind of self-love ritual and it was very special. And something I really love about Yoni eggs, in my experience anyway, is that you don't really need to use any lubricant with them. I just find that they just get the juices going in my own personal experience. And I used this egg, I was kind of doing a meditation, reconnecting with my vagina, because I was kind of going through some emotional upheaval, and I wanted to reconnect, and I found it very positive and incredibly arousing as well. So that's my own experience, but it's not something I would be doing all the time. Also now that I'm a bit more aware of crystals, and I'm a bit kind of questioning how safe they really are, but I still love crystals in general. I'm always buying new crystals. I don't know how many I've got now, but I'm getting more and more and more. And something I do when I like to do chakra balancing, having crystals on different chakras, and I even use crystals when I'm masturbating on different chakras, because I use masturbation as a meditation almost. It's an enlightening process, and I use meditation or masturbation with an intention usually, and it has an intention that's usually not sexual. So I've been practicing kind of sex magic, sexual transmutation, my own meditation, masturbation technique for 2.5 years now. And what I do sometimes is I have different crystals on different chakras, but with the egg, I might have it on my heart chakra because the rose quartz is associated with the heart chakra. But sometimes after I've had an orgasm, I like to put this egg just at the entrance of my vagina so it can absorb my female sexual energy, just like in the passage from that book that I told you about. And sometimes if I have a very important meeting, then I will take the egg with all that female energy on it, take it with me. So I was really inspired by that extract from the book from The Art of Sexual Magic. So that's something I do with my eggs anyway. But by doing that, I feel like I'm charging it with all my female energy, but I'm not taking any risks at all because I'm not inserting it. So there you have my own experiences, but I wanted to leave you with some tips for safer use if you're going to use them. I think something that's very important, I think, is to buy crystals or yoni eggs from a certified vendor. Because I think a lot of these yoni eggs, when they're sold by sex toy shops, I just think, their speciality is not crystals, it's vibrators. And I would rather buy my crystals from someone who knows about crystals. And I think it's more important for authenticity, because sometimes there are fake ones and they could definitely not be safe. They could be painted glass, and you don't want to be putting something that's not quite right in your vagina if you do want to use yoni eggs. And also I found that in crystal shops, they tend to have them packaged in a much more in a way that's more favorable for intimate use. Let's say in some sex shops, and I don't know, I can't speak for all sex shops, I've just seen them all in a basket by the till, all these eggs that loads of people just put their hands on. I don't know about that. And then it's important to know which type of crystal. If you're interested in exploring yoni eggs, then make sure it's a crystal that can be inserted. And I'm not sure if any of them can be inserted, but you have to make sure that it's not one that's going to be that can degrade with your own lubrication, or could be toxic or anything like that. So you have to be very, very careful. And also, I would not recommend it to wear for very long at all, not all night or anything like that. So yes, they are my experiences and opinions about yoni eggs. And if you have any information or links to share with us about yoni eggs and their safety, then please leave a comment below, because it would be very interesting to find out. And if you have any experiences about yoni eggs that you'd like to share, then please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. And if you have any requests for more videos, please don't hesitate to contact me at venus@venusohara.org, or you can add me on Instagram at venusohara. Thanks for watching.